Afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing? Welcome back. Another afternoon. Afternoon, Steve, Martin, Crum, Paul, John. It's time. Hello. XR update news. Missed the flip or the blip. Let's see if the Bank of Japan comes in. Not sure whether this is particularly bullish yet for or bearish rather, for the yen. We got a little bit of strength, but not a lot of strength. Looks okay to me at the moment. Afternoon, Burke, Virginia, Baggy. How are we all doing? Right. Afternoon, great. News came out today. Outro afternoon. We've had the non-farm payroll came out at 497, which is a lot higher than expected. Unemployment claims, no change. So no real indication as to what's going to happen with the unemployment rate yesterday. The unemployment claims didn't really give any clue. It's ever so slightly higher, 1,000. So we will probably get an as expected unemployment rate tomorrow. So the market's had a bit of a rally off of the non-farm figures so far, but obviously we've got PMIs coming at 3 o'clock. So if the PMIs come out as negative, that will all just collapse and undo everything it's done this morning, or this afternoon rather. So we'll see what happens with the PMIs. That's quite a key figure this afternoon for that. So we got jolts as well at the same time. So half an hour after the market open, we've got that coming out. Now the market is obviously very, very stretched. Now we've had a lot of movement on the indices. We've had ADR hits on the Dow and the S&P. The DAX is 150 ADR today, so big drop on the DAX today. Shame I didn't get the opening range break this morning. It was a real wafty one, but came down very hard. So potentially good looking opportunities for a mean reversion play on the DAX. So everything's dropped. Whether it can continue, I don't know. But obviously, if the PMI figures come out as negative, this is probably just going to undo the whole thing today. So I'm not sure we're going to get much action at the open. We'll see. But the market's obviously put in ADR already today, so it's extended. So we'll see where we go. Afternoon, Neo. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So the DAX opening range break today. We watched it obviously this morning, the 15-minute or the 5-minute pre-market. You broke out long, stopped out, broke out short, then it pulled back into the open, and since then it hasn't looked back. So depending on obviously how you set your opening range up, you either caught that whole thing and you're still in it, or if you were using a trailer which was tight, you probably got taken out on that pullback. So it's a shame, but obviously the second entry off of the 15-minute open was a nice little trade today. So, but tricky to get into today. So I've just taken a long on the DAX, just with the price action toolkit, just trying to find the bottom basically in the DAX, see if I can catch this low. We're at 150 ADR. So if you look at where we are on the DAX, how long we got to the open? 3 minutes. So obviously now we've got this gap target here, and we've got this huge gap from today. This has just collapsed today. So we've gone straight through that level, which is what I was looking at, the monthly low and previous week's low as potential bounce point. I had a go there. We got the bounce, didn't get the follow through, so I got stopped out on that. So just got into a second position on it with a view to this 150 ADR previous month's low being the next support level. I think I've got in a little bit early, actually, to be honest, because I'm going to get stopped out. I'm going to get stopped out in that position. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So that stop there is that. That stop there is that. So I've got a 40-point stop running. Just to see if I can catch this low here. So if we can catch that, I think I might actually get stopped out on that. If we can catch that double bottom bounce, there's a very nice play for the rest of the week, or well, tomorrow and following into next week to come up and fill that gap, which will be a multi-day hold, obviously. But this is not stopping so far today. Trouble with kind of trying to catch a falling knife, you get cut. So we'll see. But yeah, we're very close to that double bottom. I think too close. What level is that? That is 156.24. So round about there. So I might survive. We're going to need the limits to trigger right off that monthly level. If it goes beyond that, I'm going to stop out on it. And then obviously, if that does catch the bounce and we get a market structure break there, I'm going to add to see if I get two longs. Obviously, TPs are there at the moment, but I'll adjust as necessary, depending on what happens. So we will see how we go. So S&P, obviously ADR and Dow ADR. So we will see where we go. 30 minutes to the open, 30 seconds even. Afternoon, Brian. Taking the pre-market 15-day, the pre-5 seems super tight. Yeah, I would take a break today of this range. So yeah, the 15 is roughly about right once we break that level. But it seems really heavy still. Market really heavy today. I'll just be a bit worried about further continuation to the downside because it's obviously had a very big sell-off. Dow's gone long. So it's going to be very exhausted. So I wouldn't actually expect it to have a massive open today, but we'll see. Certainly wants to rally at the moment. So Dow's gone very quick, very quick. So we'll see how that goes. It's pulling back at the moment, but yeah, nice big open. We'll have a look at the FX pairs in a minute as well. There's a lot of ADRs today. The pound is rallying like crazy. And obviously, we've had that big move in the US dollar as well. So we'll just watch the open, see where we go at the open, and then we'll have a look at the FX pairs. DAX is still rallying short. I get a feeling we might get a bit of a whipsaw today. Afternoon, Michael. So this is your 5-minute open. So if we do manage to hold long here, and this is going to be the bottom for the day, and New York is going to undo this, it'd be worth an add on these, I think, today, because I think we might get a very decent pullback. But so far, it looks like it wants to sell off still. Don't forget, we got that news coming at 3:30. So, sorry, at 3 o'clock. So we might find we just get whipsaw until 3. But we'll see where we go. Afternoon, Peter. Yeah, Dow's going short. NASDAQ's holding up. S&P's trying to go short. Dow's gone short. Wow, this is a real mixed bag today, isn't it? That's going to stop me out by the looks of things. Real mixed bag today. Blimey. I'll take that on the Dow. Jeez, big sell-off. Okay, so short across the board. Blimey. So I'm just watching this. I'm going to need to close this out manually. One sec. I've got a futures account running as well. That was $600, and you have to concentrate on futures because it's fast. What on earth is it doing today? Having a funny 5 minutes by the looks of things. So yeah, stopped out on the NASDAQ long, flip short, and we are off short. So let me just cancel that pending order because I do not want to go long. Stop out on that. So 125 ADR now, 100 ADR on the NASDAQ as well, 125 ADR on the S&P, and 150 ADR now on the DAX. So the DAX has just run into that support. So there's your monthly low, or that's the previous month's low on the DAX. So there's a potential support area there on the DAX. So we're down at this level here. If we break that low, we've got this propulsion gap here, which is 250 ADR. It's not going to get down there. Well, I mean, if the services PMIs come out massively bullish, who knows? But it's unlikely we're going to get down to 250 ADR. So if we break this level, there's nothing to stop us until we get back down to there. But at 150 ADR, you have to say this is probably a little bit tired. So watch this DAX for potential longs at this level. Want to look for basically the buyers to buy this level up. We get a nice sort of W pattern break of structure down here. That'd be a good looking long opportunity. But got the news in 25 minutes, so could also just whipsaw today. 1R to break even, triggered, then stopped long, re-entered long, 3R hit, still on EU ORB. Yeah, nice looking one this morning. So your Brian strategy. Break there. So you went short, flip long, would have stopped out on that, and then gone long. I'd have got 2 stop outs on that. Difficult today because you would have got, basically, if you'd have gone a lot short, if you'd have broken even, you'd been stopped out, break even, you'd have flipped long. If you broke even, you'd have broken even, or you'd have taken a loss, either or. So it's either 2 break evens and a loss. And then you've got to try and re-enter. Difficult one today, that. Dow looks like it wants to carry on going short at the moment. But we are inside bar on the 5 minute. So there's your 5 minute ORB on the Dow. There's your break to the downside on the NASDAQ. And the S&P, you are just about to break the downside potentially. So inside bar here on the Dow, but that range is big on the Dow today. So all very, very, very bearish, but it's very difficult to try and add to short positions when you are beyond ADR. It's going to take a lot of sellers to get this to trend down in the US Open because they're going to be out of steam. Literally missed my break even by a tick. Typical. The Dow is where it seems to be at the moment. Yeah. Although it is stalling at the minute at 125 ADR. So we'll see. I get the feeling this might cool off here. I really can't see. Those PMI figures have got to be massively bullish for this to drive down this afternoon. If they come out as expected at 51-ish, 51.5, something like that, I think these indices will completely turn tail and run the other way. They're struggling. Yeah, that's really annoying, that DAX. Got a hedge on at the moment there. Interesting. Look, so this is the robot. So basically, I've got exactly the same EA settings running on this NASDAQ and on the NASDAQ here. Right? This is NAS as well. This one did not hit the stop loss, so I'm still hedged long and short. This one stopped out, easily stopped out on that, and went a bit further on the long. Yeah, so difference between brokers. This is Robo Forex, that was E8. Totally different trades, exactly the same EA, exactly the same settings, exactly the same strategy, two completely different results. Totally different broker data. How important it is to test on your broker data that you're going to trade with, because you're not going to get the same results. As you know, got two different brokers here trading exactly the same thing with two totally different results. Right, Dow's frozen down here, so we're inside bar on the Dow. Really stopped, like totally stopped in its tracks down there. NASDAQ looks like it's going to be a double-ended stop out. This looks like a whipsaw to me at the moment, but we'll wait and see. Let's have a look at the FX pairs. So big moves today so far. We obviously had the US dollar news. So the US dollar has rallied. I've just taken one off US dollar CAD from there. Positions, so basically my average is now up there. What I'm looking for is a pullback so I can get into another position long on that, but I'll wait for the pullback to happen. So if it's going to continue to rally, then fine, but that's fine. So yeah, US dollars had a bit of a rally off the back of that news. US dollar Swiss rallied, pulled back. US dollar yen pushed up, paused. If you look at the pound US dollar, obviously that's pushed up and pulled back down on the US dollar news. The euro US dollar pulled back down on it. But as you can see, that was the news. That's where we are. So it is just a whipsaw at the moment. It is bullish US. Oh, go on, Dow. Dow's rallying short again. I'm going to TP on the Dow. By the looks of things, let's go beyond 150 ADR to get me out of that. Yeah, so basically we've had obviously the rally on the US dollar. It's still going against the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar has weakened off the back of the news against the US anyway. So you can see Euro CAD is pushing as well. So there's quite a few ADRs. A lot of these are yen based. We'll see what happens with the news in 20 minutes time. If the news in 20 minutes time is massively bullish US, obviously we're going to get a continuation rally and those indices should come down further. If it's neutral or negative, we should just completely reverse this move we've had today. And then obviously we'll wait until the unemployment rate tomorrow. And then obviously the US will move where it needs to go from there. So the ADRs today, we've had the CAD yen. So we obviously had the big sell-off yesterday, the pullback flag, big sell-off, pullback. So looking for a continuation on this one. The 5-minute reversal alert was down there at ADR. So you had one alert there on that candlestick. So that would have been your entry. If then it invalidated. If you took the second one, the entry was there. So your entries basically are exactly the same spot. all it's done is accumulate. Like I said this morning, not something I really want to mean revert at the moment, the yen, because we've been waiting for this. So I just closed my futures position out and it's rallying. So yeah, just about TP on the Dow. What do they say about a watched pot never boils? Come on. Thank you. So break even on the second position. So yeah, so not something I want to mean revert the yen at the moment. We've been waiting for a rally on the yen for absolutely ages. Now we're getting it. You do not want to go against this, I don't think, at the moment. So Swiss yen, that's pushed down and pulling back up again at the moment. The euro is very strong today. So the euro yen and the Swiss yen pulling back, but we're pulling back into resistance. So there's your support. We broke it. Now we've pushed back. You expect it to test that level and then continue the drop. So hopefully that's what we're going to get. So CAD yen extended, euro yen, you got an ADR today as well. So if you took that one, like I did here, yeah, so there's your ADR. You see behind my head? No. So there's your ADR. There, that's your ADR. There's your reverse alert. You can see my entry there. Straight in, straight out, done on the long. But obviously, expect that to continue short. So we've pushed back up ADR as well. So ADR hit to the downside, ADR hit back up to the upside. So looks like a good short now. So that's euro yen. So that one's hit. The pound yen also hit. So that was a hit to the downside, then a hit back to the upside again. So it's exactly the same thing. Push down all the way down here. Hit ADR 100. W pattern reversal. So your first entry would have been there. Then it invalidated that one, gave you a second entry there, all the way up. Just hit ADR. You just had a reverse alert short. So playing these all both ways today. So that's your pound yen. And you got US dollar yen as well. Again, that's hit to the downside, bounced straight off ADR, pushed back up again. So that actually bounced before the news. So there's your ADR level. So it hit ADR. Your reversal alert would have been there. Then it again did exactly the same thing, invalidated the first one. Second entry was there, pushed up. There's your retest. W pattern up into there. So all the ADRs on the yens worked today. But they are scalps. You want to be out of them because I've got a feeling we're going to get continuations on these yen pairs. US dollar yen might be the exception today, depending on what happens with the next news event. So we might get the US dollar yen actually being the one that can manage to push back up into balance. So we'll see what happens. Got a quarter of an hour till that news. The other ADRs you've had today, euro odd. So we've had big moves on the Australian dollar. Australian dollar's coming down very, very hard, as is the New Zealand dollar, also collapsing very, very hard. So the euro odd, obviously the euro being strong today, the Australian dollar being weak, that's perfect storm. So you've got an ADR hit on that one at the moment. No reversal alert so far. So drop down, wait for the reversal alert to kick in, which is going to be there after that flag. So at the moment, that's your reversal alert. That'll be your M pattern for a short entry on the euro odd. The euro New Zealand, same thing. Don't take both of these. Take one or the other. Euro New Zealand, euro odd, very similar. Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar move in tandem. So if one's hitting, the other one will tend to hit. Your reversal alert on this one's going to be in a very similar spot. Actually, it's going to be even tighter. So that's an even tighter reversal alert. Break of that level, obviously, if you wanted to, you could add. So if we get the reversal alert, you could add it there and then push back down into this propulsion gap. TP. Pound odd and pound New Zealand, same story. We've had a massively strong pound today, pushed up into 125 ADR. You're just about to get a reversal alert on that one. Pound New Zealand, same thing. Just take one or the other. That's up at 125, 150 ADR. That's holding that support rectangle at the moment. So haven't had the break. This candle looks like it might be the one that breaks. We've got 1.5 minutes on this candle. This looks like it's going to give you the reversal alert. For a short, that would be the safest trade. So ADR reversals, you're looking for somewhere around about a third to a half an ADR. Half an ADR is 74. That high is 72. So half an ADR, basically, trade it back down into that propulsion gap fill. That will give you half an ADR profit. Aussie dollar Swiss has just hit ADR. Just tapped it. Your reversal on this one is going to be there off that high. Dow still holding. Pound CAD. So that's just come off of ADR. You just had a reversal alert there. There was another. So that was your first reversal alert. So this is ADR. Your first reversal alert was there where I've got in short. The second reversal alert on that one that got invalidated there would have been here. Then it's pushed up again. And now you've got your third. So first entry, second entry, third entry. Yeah. Kind of like a double-headed head and shoulders. But that's coming down now. Pound yen we've covered. Pound New Zealand we've covered. Pound US dollar. Obviously, this one's a tricky one. We've had the ADR hit on this. Your reversal alert is there. It's a difficult one to get in. This was obviously caused by the news. So it's hard to get into something when you get a news spike because the reversal alert is obviously a big candle. So you miss a lot of the move. However, it is obviously working at the moment, but this could all reverse very, very quickly off the back of the next news we've got coming up. So just be careful with the pound US dollar if you're short on it. There's no RSI extension on that one either. We've got a couple of weekly hits. Pound CAD is Thursday, but the pound CAD has hit its weekly high. So that's Monday here. So that there to there is 215 pips. A weekly range on this is 211. So that is its normal weekly range done. It's Thursday. We've got a nice big move when we broke the previous day's high to potentially pull back into. That propulsion gap's pretty much done. We've got this old one here. But the pound is bullish. Just want to see what's happened to oil today. Yeah, it's come down. So this explains why we've got this weak Canadian dollar, why the US dollar CAD has managed to rally so much on the US dollar news. Oil is coming down. I haven't seen any news out of OPEC today. I have been watching. So yeah, there is no OPEC quota tweaks will happen in 2025. Oil demand growth is high, about 2%. No cuts for the UAE. So there's not really there's no major news for oil. So that's coming down, obviously, which is helping the Canadian dollar weaken. The pound is obviously strong. So pound CAD, that's why that's hit its weekly range. New Zealand dollar CAD, same thing. That's coming off the highs now, though. So obviously New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar having a bit of a bad run. So that's your weeklies done as well. So that's from there to there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That was your weekly hit this morning. So Euro New Zealand's just hit 125 ADR. So your 5-minute reverse alert. And that one was up there this morning. Nice and tight. Huge drop. ADRs and your weeklies. There's a few RSIs to look at as well. Let's just quickly go back to the US markets. Just had another alert go off. New Zealand dollar Swiss. Yeah, New Zealand dollar's coming down hard. So Euro New Zealand's hit ADR to the upside. New Zealand Swiss hit ADR to the downside. Euro CAD's just hit ADR to the upside as well. New Zealand dollar Swiss. That'd be a hit to the downside. It's in profit now, that one. Minute. So 7 minutes to the news. Quite busy this afternoon, isn't it? Euro odd, 125 ADR. So that's still pushing. So again, the reversal is still in the same spot. Last down candle, last push down before the rally. So that's the last attempt from the sellers. That will be deemed when they take control back. Wow, this is the Australian dollar. DAX has stalled. Well, stalling. So buyers has just started a rally there. Obviously, it's being battered back down again by the sellers. If the buyers can take back control of this, i.e. if the sellers try and push down and make a new low and they push them back and then they break that high, that's where the rally will probably start from. So pending order above that high. See if we can get a rally out the back of that DAX. Bear in mind, we're 150 ADR on the DAX now, approaching 175. Aussie dollar, US dollar ADR. Jesus, news hasn't even come out yet. ADR's all over the place today. Lot of movement. So just keep, just try and keep on top of all these. Bear in mind, a lot of these are being caused by the news. So we've got another news event coming. So this could all very much get undone straight away when this news event comes out. So just bear that in mind. Pound US dollar. Haven't covered anything yet, really, apart from ADRs. And that was an ADR, obviously, which is played out. These indices look really heavy still. So yeah, pound US dollar, there's nothing on it at the moment. Last entry was there for me, and there was a sell entry there, which I got out of break even. But I don't know. I would be looking to buy the pound, basically. The US dollar, I don't know. More bearish than bullish. I'm really tempted to take a futures trade on this news, but it's very dangerous. So NASDAQ is rallying short. That's not far away from TP to the downside there. I'm just going to intervene here. I'm just covering these shorts before the news. Because if it does whip straight back the other way, I just don't want to take. There's no point in taking a loss on it. We've got 4 minutes to go until the news, so they should be hopefully pretty safe there before the news. But if it does spread it out, it spreads it out. There's nothing I can do about it. But DAX, that should be 175 ADR now, I think, on the DAX. Yeah, there's 175 ADR on the DAX. So we don't 6% of the time we experience these sorts of levels. Yeah, so this is not the norm. High probability of a bounce off of this. There's no news causing this, so it's just a massive sell-off at the moment. We have 3 minutes to the news. Let me catch up on the chat. Ooh, exhausting. Widen the percentage of the opening range to 200 with break even at 100. All right. You can test all this with the RBEA, Brian. See what sort of impact it has. What pair or assets most sensitive to US news? US dollar, obviously. Afternoon, Frederick. Sorry you're late. That's okay. It's a good job I don't give out late cards, but if I did, you would get one. Right. So I'm hoping for a massive bull run on the US dollar. That would be very nice. Big news on the US. All positive. Collapse the indices. 1.5 minutes to go. So quick look at the RSIs. There's one big RSI at the moment, which is the pound CAD, as you can see. So that is up at previous monthly high. We looked at this morning. Well, actually, I said in the Telegram group this morning about this one. So, but we did look at it this morning, and I said that would be a beautiful hit today. So got a short H1 M5 mean reversion entry. As soon as the entry came in on M5, it did pretty much the same as the N, turned tail, put in a second high. You got a second reversal alert on it there, and then it put in a third high. We looked at this one as an ADR, didn't we? But this is also a monthly high. So this is the market triggering limit orders and the buyers really trying to rally through it very, very hard, which they've done pretty well. But we are very, very exhausted on this now. So we've had basically a push, accumulation, push, accumulation, push. Should start a profit take move on that, back down into that propulsion, which is where I'm going to put my TP. There. Right, let's watch Euro US dollar. A good gauge because the euro is pretty strong today. And we'll watch the Dow. Okay, strong US. Strongish US. 53.9 on a forecast of 51.2. That's really strong US. But obviously, bear in mind the market is very exhausted at the moment. So that's a 53. Come on, Forex Factory. I thought you'd implemented this brand new system, which releases news by the second. I've had this news for 30 seconds now, and you've too late. 53.9 off of 51.3. Job openings down 10,000. It was irrelevant. So positive PMIs again. So that is bullish US. So we are getting a little bit of strength coming through on the US. Obviously, Euro US down. US dollar CAD, I would imagine, is rallying off that. Yeah. But we are meeting very much resistance on the Dow down here. So market doesn't seem to be overly impressed with the PMIs, not as much as it was with the unemployment claims. We'll see. We are very extended. So the DAX has just taken that 175 level and started to buy it up. So we are potentially starting to rally on the DAX. Just hit TP on that one. Wasn't it particularly strong? So sellers are not able to make any progress on this. Buyers not able to make any progress on the US either. I think this is exhausted today. I think we're probably going to get a bit of a pullback starting now. So watch the yen pairs. We might get a little bit of strength starting to come through on these yens. Nice wicks to the upside there on the CAD yen out of that propulsion. So again, that was the low. Sellers hit it, smash through it. So this is the propulsion move. They're adding into the positions short there. Come on. Really love this to drop down 200 ADR today, but I don't think we're going to get it. Let's see. Anybody got any other pairs you want to look at? I'm going to run through the ADRs. I just wanted to keep an eye on this. Just see if they can make any more progress. Okay. Pound New Zealand 150. So didn't get the reversal alert there. Previous reversal alert on that one. You got it there, didn't you? So that's just invalidated 150 ADR. DAX is holding. So pretty much break even on that. Okay, so new low on the Dow. And still falling. So it looks like we are getting some continuation strength on that US dollar. Weakness on the Canadian dollar. Bit of a mixed bag today. Confusing. Right, let's look at the RSIs. So pound CAD we just looked at. Obviously, we've covered that one. Massively extended at resistance. So good looking opportunity for a short. Hourly, you got extended above the 80 level. That's obviously just starting to roll over now, but we'll see what happens with that one. 4-hour RSI extension as well. So again, we're up at these highs, pretty much up there. Basically back where we were the last time we got the drop. So that looks pretty good for a short. New Zealand dollar CAD is extended on the 4-hour as well. It was, you've missed it. So that was a 4-hour RSI extension. Nice tweeze the top. So your reversal on that one, depending whether you took the M15 or the M5, would have been on the news. Euro pound is extended on the 4-hour. So decent extension there on the 4-hour. US dollar CAD ADR. So we just had AEI hit to the upside on the US dollar CAD. So I'm just watching this Dow. Still going, making new lows. So euro pound extended on the 4-hour to the downside. We're just coming down into support here. So this is the 2-week low. That was your weekly low. We were looking at that for a bounce. Didn't get it. 2-week low entry. And that is your monthly low as well. So this is a lovely area for a buy. 5-minute reversal was down there this morning. So that's rallied very nicely. Pound odd also is an hourly RSI extension. We know this because we've looked at this on the ADRs. So that's 125 ADR, approaching 150 ADR now, extended above the 70 level, about to trigger potentially even longer. We've got another monthly high coming up here. So that's the 2-month high, which we reacted from first time. We put in a new spike there, which we're coming up to test now. So we've got propulsion gaps galore to the downside on this for a drop, obviously. RSI extensions. Looking for that to drop down. So that looks like a good short, pound odd. Drop down, M5, M15. Wait for the reversal alert. Euro CAD also extended on the hourly. Again, that's RSI extension and an ADR extension. That's just coming off that weekly high. So we're coming off these levels here. Looking to pull back down into here. M5 hourly. See it better. So all these old highs, basically support resistance. Yeah, always support resistance. looking for a push back down. Canadian dollar is going to need to strengthen up to do that, though. This Dow is coming down so hard. S&P's opening range break as well. Very, very nice today. So there's your 5-minute ORB. There's your pre-market ORB. Much nicer, actually, than the NASDAQ today. Euro CAD. CAD Swiss. That's a 1-hour RSI extension to the downside, straight into the monthly low. So that is your last month's low. And it's an obvious support resistance. So we tapped up straight into resistance, turned it to support, hit it, accumulated, broke away, hit it again, back down there. Look for a potential bounce. Failing that, Aussie dollar CAD ADR as well. Failing that, you've got, if this does break down below this level, we've got this little low here as well, which is worth paying attention to, which is basically ADR, which is that high there. Again, support. Yeah, previous resistance becomes support. So either bouncing here or here potentially. If that fails, you're not going to get a bounce until we get potentially back down into this propulsion gap at 175 ADR. So first entry taken there, second entry somewhere around 175 ADR. And then by the time it's down there, your RSI will be massively extended on the hourly. So you can get in now a little bit early, but if it does fail, the second entry will be a nice RSI extension on the hourly for a long. So I just need to